I am fully a mess because I am doing a deep clean of my house, but I wanted to talk about this because when you hear people talking about how this ruling is about states' rights or about how it's a great day for states' rights, what you have to remember is that one of the fundamental questions at the founding was how much authority a government would have over the individual citizens. And there was a conflict at the time about whether or not you should give the national government a lot of power because in their experience at their time, national governments were run by kings and kings tend to be oppressive. So what they wanted was individual control of their individual colonies, which they were calling states or commonwealths. And that was designed to keep an oppressive government like they were used to with the king from coming in and taking away their rights. Now, as the battle between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists kind of kicked off and the issue of slavery started to become more and more clear after the Articles of Confederation and the founding of the Constitution, states' rights began to kind of put that same distrust on the American national government as it had done the king. So the idea there was that the federal government couldn't tell states what to do to their people because they didn't want a federal government oppressing their people. In that argument, the state was supposed to be the line of defense to the people from the federal government. In the years following the Civil War, however, that kind of flipped on its head, and the national government came to protect citizens from states oppressing their rights. And that was the way it was from Reconstruction through the Civil Rights Movement through today. The federal government provides civil rights protections to people so they can freely exercise their civil liberties. The 14th Amendment made very clear that states could not pass laws more restrictive than federal laws. That is the substantive due process clause that they have used to protect civil rights since the Warren Court. So now when you hear people talk about give rights back to the states, what they're actually saying is take rights away from people and allow states to oppress people. And the federal government can no longer step in and protect people from their state. That is what you are arguing. You are arguing that people, individual Americans, shouldn't have rights to their own body, to their own self, to their own thing. And that the state they choose to live in should determine which of those civil rights should be protected. And that the federal government should not have a right to protect American citizens from the state they live in. That violates the 14th Amendment. It also violates Article 4 of the Constitution, the full faith and credit and privileges and immunities. Living in America is supposed to mean the same thing to every American, no matter what state they live in. Some states can grant additional freedoms to their people, but no state can take more freedom away. And the abortion issue was big because states wanted to oppress that right to their people. The Roe versus Wade ruling prevented the federal government from doing that. The Dobbs ruling took away the federal protection to bodily autonomy and allowed states to have a say and an interest in their citizens' bodily autonomy. This ruling gave states power over people.